Welcome to lesson 91, measures of center, mean, median, and mode. The three M words you've probably seen all the way through middle school, and it was usually the longest unit ever because you have to do a lot of calculating. But don't worry, we will be using our calculators. Doesn't mean we can't stay organized with our work though. Here's our CFS. We're going to accurately calculate the mean by adding up all the numbers and dividing by what we have. We can calculate the median by putting them in order from least to greatest, median, middle, that's what you're looking for. And if there's no direct middle number, you're going to find the average mean of those two numbers. And we're going to find the mode by identifying which number happens the most often. So those are probably the keywords you've looked at. Mean feels the meanest because it takes the longest amount of time. Median is the middle, and mode is the most. We're going to go into our first model, and I chose some friendly numbers even though we're going to use calculators. And I will say that you are more than likely going to make an error with a calculation than with mixing up the type of average. It just happens. So we're going to be super careful and just chunk out numbers, and the one you're most likely going to make an error with is mean. And it just has to do with how we're chunking in numbers. So we're going to start with that one first because I'd rather do the hardest one first. Get it over with. And what I like to do for these is I like to chunk my numbers into sets, because then I can just double check with my calculator and try and identify if I made an error. So I'm going to do the first set of numbers, and I get 32. Let's do the second set. Well, 4 plus 6 I can do in my head. That's 10. 10 plus 17 is 27. And if you still want to just make sure, you can. That's fine. You'd be surprised how many little errors we could make. All right, so here's our total. And that's what we were looking for. So let's figure out the sum and the total values. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers in our set. So let's just add up our final sums. 32 plus 27 plus 18. And that gives me 77. So my last part is just to do this division. 77 divided by 8. And that gives me 9.625. If they ask you to round to a particular number like the temps, do it. But here we go. That's all we needed for mean. So we got the mean one out the way. And it's just sum out of total numbers in the data set. All right, median is the next one. And so what's the hot spot with median? You got to put them in order. That's it. So there's so many kids who will just go and they'll start writing the numbers in. And then they start just crossing numbers out. But they gotta be in order, so just make sure that they are. And I like to just rewrite them and just start crossing out, looking for the smallest numbers first. And I would absolutely do this in pencil, because you'd be surprised how many times you start with pen. You make a mistake and don't see it till later, and then all your paper has notes on it, and you have to get a whole new page. Like right now, if I would have wrote 11, I'd be like, oh my God, it's 10 that's next. So, haha, have a pencil with you, and you're not going to make that mistake. And I make them too. This has nothing to do with intelligence. It's just, hey, sometimes you just miss a number. You go really careful and your eye scans and it just doesn't see it. All right, but now I have all my numbers in. So now I can just start crossing out to the middle. So I go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. And I got 2 in the middle. So this is one of the cases when we have 2 in the middle. Find the average of the 2. So I add them together and divide by 2. 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. Okay, so I can make that 5 look even better. That's it for median. Gotta put it in order. And more than likely you'll make a mistake because you miss a number somewhere in the list and have to start over. So just use a pencil. I can't wait till we do lessons with Excel, because Excel will just put these in order for you. But that's for another lesson. All right, and the last one is mode, or just the most. And you just got to look at your list and figure out, like, does anything repeat? And so you're just scanning, and yep, the 7s repeat. Does anything else? Do I see any other 10s? No. Yeah, so it's just 7. And just be aware that sometimes there's not a mode. You might have 2 modes. So my 7 repeated twice, so that's my mode. All right, so hit pause and jot this down into your notes. Let's jump into a guided practice so you can try identifying the mean, median, and mode of the set of numbers that represent the number of text messages Isaac received in a week. All right, hit pause and get to work. Okay, let's jump into our reveal, and here are the 3 averages. Your mean is 50, and I'm going to use that little symbol so you can see what it would look like. Our median number would be 49, and our mode, our most frequency, our highest frequency number, would be 47. All right, so just check in with your work. Clearly, I'll do the easiest ones first just so you can see the answers. 47 are the only numbers that repeat, so that was obviously the mode. For the median, you just had to put them in order, and you would have had 2 47s. You do have to record both. And this one was pretty straightforward because there was only one middle number. So we're just looking to make sure you have it in order. So the toughest one was probably going to be the mean, which was the sum over the total number in the set. And so here you would have gotten, if you added correctly, 350 out of 7, which would have given you 50. So just double check if you had an error, which one of these areas was the error. And again, this is about attending to precision. It's very, very easy to make an error in calculation. So just be patient, be mindful and careful, and attend to precision while working through. So that's it for today's lesson. We're going to just do a ton of practice for today, and we're going to get some more advanced statistics later in this unit. I'll see you in the next lesson. Be well.